The company is Leadership Management International. It was founded in 1966 by a man called Paul J. Mayer, who unfortunately died of cancer in 2009. But prior to his death, he was acknowledged in the US as the #1 author of people development material. And I say development material rather than books as such, because what Paul decided was that he would develop methodology, if you like, in a program as we call it, that would help people become as opposed to just read about. And that's really our key forte. And he also decided that we would work as a franchise licensee organisation worldwide, and we're now in 60 countries, 24 languages, and growing all the time. We have franchisees all over the world, which we call franchisees licensees, about 500 around the world, and the whole system works. What we do, and I'll be very frank, is not rocket science, but it achieves a result, because we say what we're in is business performance improvement through people. So through our programs in leadership, management, productivity, sales and such, we do help people to think and behave more effectively and productively. And that's really the business itself.
My name is Nick Howes. I'm from Coventry, and I've recently become an LMI-UK franchisee. My background is not in business at all. It's in working with charities and people leading and managing in the charitable sector, leading in churches and aid organisations, effectively running leadership development and personal development courses. And so I've then recently, as I came across LMI, joined the business world, but that's my background is very much in the kind of developing, coaching, helping people, but in a not-for-profit sector. But in essence, for me, it was all about the quality of the product. And so, again, I was having worked in this sort of area, developing people, but in the charitable sector, and then was hugely aware of the kind of ineffectiveness of some of the things that we were doing. So I was introduced to LMI by an existing franchisee, and just could see immediately that the way these programs were structured, the content and the facilitation process over time was just going to be, it was exactly what I was after. So in that sense, I fell in love with the product, and then it was about finding out about the business. So I think knowing that the business is something that in an area that you're really passionate about is for me, that was the key thing.
I'm often asked about the ideal profile of a successful franchisee. And the best way I can answer you this is very simple. We rarely ever take on people who naturally fit the kind of markets we work in. We take on people who have a genuine desire to work with other people, to help them to achieve, to help them realise their potential, to grow. I'm also asking, we have profiling tools. Should I profile before? I never profile anyone until they join. And the reason for that is very simple. I want to know where they want to go, not where they've been. So you can have somebody who's perhaps been in banking and then they want to get in people development, or they've been in manufacturing and they want to go into a different area. That's fine. I'm more interested in where they want to go, where their dreams and aspirations are, rather than where they've been. Obviously, having people with a reasonable background, business-wise, is good, but it's not essential, providing they accept that they are buying a business, and that's key. I also have right now, I have a particular focus that I want to get younger franchisees on board. And by that I mean 30 years and above typically, although I look even younger, because this is a young world. It's said that the average age of the most successful companies in the UK is 35. So, having younger franchisees, no problem at all. It includes everything that someone will need to start their business with us, including the training, the materials, stationery, everything they need. And typically the license is for 5 years, and when they come to renew after 5 years, subject to mutual approval, they just renew. There's no ongoing fee beyond that. That's our normal fee. We also have, which should be clear to people, that we have a monthly support fee. And that support fee covers general support, IT matters, miscellaneous marketing and so forth.
I'm in the LMI office this morning to do one of their sales programs. Very interested in motivation and success and goal-directed action, all to increase my productivity at work.
Okay, Sam, how have you got on with this week's lesson and what's been the best idea?
I really got on with the first lesson very well. I found it really interesting. I liked reading about the LMI concept, about motivation, the 3 types of motivation that it had. For me, the goal, the short-term realistic goals were quite important, because I felt actually I didn't have any goals that were specific or measurable, even though realistic to myself. So for that, I think that was good.
Right, okay. And were there any areas where you thought this is where I can begin to start setting some of those short-term goals?
Yes, thinking about personal, monetary gain, family life, and just starting with some simple ones that I could measure and keep on track of and apply them into my daily business.
My concluding thoughts, if you like, is there's a large part of me that can't quite believe that I'm sat where I am now, because again my background is not in business, and yet here I sit as a successful business owner, just in embryonic form but beginning, with opportunities and experiences that have just been fantastic. So I recommend it, and I wouldn't have changed the last couple of years, and then ultimately buying my own franchise in this business, and just phenomenally excited about the future and the opportunities, and would recommend it wholeheartedly to others to have a think about the franchising opportunity.